I love salmon in the New Year's.
Good morning, everyone. It's raining outside, and I have been craving these for about probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 days now. You know, you eat all this rich food at Christmas, and here it is New Year's Eve, and I know collard greens and black eyed peas is what people eat on New Year's. Well, I've got my collard greens in the refrigerator that we got out of the garden and we cooked them yesterday, but I hadn't got my black eyed peas cooked yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow, and I may show y'all how I do that. I'm not sure. Well, no, it's Sunday. I don't do a video on Sunday. We go to church. We do church, so I may show you Monday, but we're not that traditional. My mama never did like greens and black eyed peas on Sunday. I mean, on New Year's. It's just something we didn't do growing up, and I never have done it. But I know a lot of people out there do. But today, we are having some fried salmon croquettes, salmon patties, ever what you want to call them. And I get these at Aldi's. They're called, I'm going to turn them upside down, Northern Catch. They're wild Alaskan pink salmon. It's upside down because you have to open them upside down. Can you see that, honey?
Got it.
Okay, all right. Now I'm going to show you what I do with my salmon. Now I poured the juice off, and I got it in a little bowl over here because I'm going to pour it over my cat food for my cat. But this is the way it comes. If you're not familiar with salmon, it comes in the can like that, and you see all this. Hold on, honey. This is my juice for my cat right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel all this dark skin off because it's the skin of the salmon. You still have some dark here, but that's meat. That's not the skin. I don't like the skin because it's kind of fatty and it's just a little bit strong to me. So I get as much of that off as I can, and then it has little bones in it, right? This one doesn't, but here's the bone. All right, can you see that bone, baby, right there? Okay. So I take this bone out. Now, some people don't. My mama never did. She didn't take the bone out because when you stir it up in your salmon, it just disintegrates into your salmon. So she never took hers out, but I do. But I guess, and when you break it open, you see this dark skin. I guess it would just give us more calcium if we left it in there, but I usually don't. So, okay. And it comes in little sections, as you can see how it opens up like that. So I just take this dark skin off. Now, like I say, I leave that dark. And there's no bones in that. And then I'll take this skin off like that. Okay, there's a little piece. And there's a little piece right there of skin. Now, Roy thinks I'm crazy for doing this, but because he would have left all that in. Okay, when you open up that little section, you see this bone. Plus, my cat loves all this. So, I mean, after all, she deserves some goodie too. Okay. Put that right over there for my cat. Now, I do things that probably other people don't do. This is light tuna. One can, Roy and I love salmon, and the grandboys or the grandchildren, as they come in, they love salmon too. So when I cook them, I'll just leave them on the stove. And I have found that one can is not quite enough, and 2 cans is too much. So I will take and I will cut that by using tuna. And I get this from Aldi's because this is where I can find that can of salmon at Aldi's is $2.79. I think $2.79. And that's the cheapest we have found it anywhere. And it's just as good as this black top, this double cube, whatever you're paying $5 and $6 a can for. It's just as good. So I have found that if I know more are coming in, I'll use 2 of the small cans of tuna. But if it's just, I just know 1 or 2's coming, I'll just use the 1 can of salmon and the 1 small can of tuna. So I'm just going to kind of stir this up, get that tuna mixed in really well with it.
Well, the tuna makes it a little milder too.
It
doesn't
does. It keeps it from being so strong. Yeah, the salmon from being so strong. All right, I got my tuna mixed in good with it. Now to this, I'm going to add, right now I'm going to add 1 egg. I may add 2. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 eggs. And y'all know me, I always crack my eggs in a bowl. This one came from the store. This one came from my son-in-law, Philip. But I always crack my eggs in a little bowl before I put them in my dish. Okay. I'm going to stir this up. Now, I'm trying to make this as low carb as possible. I have tried it with just almond flour and coconut flour, but it does not stick together like you need it to stick together to fry it. So I put an extra egg in there today, hoping that would kind of help it stick together more. But I've got a 1/2 cup of onion. Now my onion, honey, if you could, I did it with a little electric chopper. It's really fine because you don't want, it's a 1/2 cup. You don't want your onions in big chunks because that keeps your mixture from sticking together also. Okay. All right, that was a 1/2 cup of finely diced or chopped onion. Now, to that, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, I put cayenne pepper in mine. We like, when we bite into it, we just like a little bite on our salmon. So, and I don't measure it. I can just usually tell. It's just a few shakes. And if you like more, you can add more. If you like less, you add less. That's just up to you. But we like it where when you're eating it, it's just on your tongue a little bit, but when you swallow it, that heat's gone.
It's just the threat of being hot.
Yes, that's the way we like it. And promise my granddaughter, she can eat it like that, where if I put more, she can't eat it. It's too hot for her. So, I got my grease on back here. Now, in this is 2 tablespoons of almond flour. And this dark right here, this is pure finely ground almond flour. The dark is. Okay, and this right here is coconut flour. You see the difference? Now, this almond flour is different from almond flour that I have used before. Jenny, my daughter, gave me this. It's some she had and she wasn't going to use it. It's finer ground than the almond flour like I buy. But there's 2 tablespoons of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. And underneath here, I have got 1 tablespoon of gluten-free flour. Now, the almond and coconut flour, it doesn't have carbs. But now, my gluten-free flour does. So, but I'm checking it this morning because I made it once before with just almond flour and coconut flour and it just would not stick together. It wouldn't bind together. So I'm trying it this morning by adding a little bit of the gluten-free flour, just a tablespoon, not much. So it's really not going to be that many carbs when you get it all combined.
It's almost nothing to add to it.
It's almost nothing, yeah.
It's no carb load. You
Right.
just basically still around
And
3 or 4.
this is cornmeal, plain cornmeal. So if I need a little bit more binder, this is 2 tablespoons. I will put a little bit more binder in it to make it stick together, and I'll use the gluten-free, the plain cornmeal for that. So, okay, I've got my spices, my egg, my flours. All right, I got my grease on behind me, and I'm gonna cook this in a cast iron skillet. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna make a ball. I'm gonna make one and see if it, cause I do mine out, and I do them flat, like this. So they have more surface to have crust on. So honey, if you'll come over here, I'm gonna see if my, and Roy, oh, it is really hot. Okay, Roy likes his coated in, now this is plain cornmeal. I don't coat mine, but I'm gonna coat his this morning.
Well, it makes it like more like
Like fried fish.
like southern fried fish.
All right, this may be too hot. No, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna fry a couple. I'm gonna fry one with the coating and one without the coating, because I'm not gonna put coating on mine, because that's just extra carbs for me. Even though it's gluten-free, it's carbs.
And
So,
it's still hardly no carb load, but that's all
Right.
right. She's just telling you how she does it, and
Right, yeah.
you can do the same.
I love it with the coating on it because it's, but carb load is different from just carbs, and we have said we're gonna come on and explain all that to y'all. And so now that it's the new year, Christmas is over, New Year's is, Thanksgiving's over, New Year's is over tomorrow. Then we're gonna make a video on just why and how we eat like we do. And so, okay. And these are holding together real well. So what Roy really likes is for me to pat them out, take my little finger, pull a little hole in it, like that. See that little hole? Then dip it in the mixture and fry it. Let me wash my hands, baby.
The reason for that is it's crispy all the way through. So I call
All the way through.
I call it crispy salmon patties
Yep.
or croutons, salmon croutons, because if you fry it long enough with that hole in it, it'll really just get like a little crunchy, crispy bite.
So this is 3 different ways. You can do it with the cornmeal. You can do it without the cornmeal. Now there is no cornmeal in here, in my mixture. Okay. My grease was a little hot, so these first ones are gonna be a little bit brown. I'm cooking it on 6. That way, that ensures me that it gets done all the way through. So the first couple I put in there is going to be a little bit brown, but that's really the way we like them. The browner they are, the better that we like them. But these are holding together really, really well. I'm excited about this mixture that I used. So it was 2 tablespoons of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, 1 tablespoon of gluten-free flour. And that gluten-free flour with the 2 eggs makes it bind together, and they hold together. If you just use the almond and coconut flour, they want to tear apart. So, okay, I'm just going to let these brown a little bit more. And I'll take these up in just a few minutes, and I'll put some more in. So, y'all, I'm really excited about this mixture. I was hoping this was going to work because it's very few carbs. So, I'll be back in just a few minutes, just as soon as I take some of these up, and I'm going to show you what. I got my paper towel on my dish right here, and then we're going to put another load in, and we're going to cook those.
All right, we're home on the range.
All right. As y'all can see the difference, these are the ones that I did not put the coating on. These are the ones that have the coating.
Go coating.
The extra cornmeal. And so it takes probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes on each side. If you're cooking it on, now I've turned mine down to 5, which is medium. That one has coating on it. Okay. Now, what you see, the dark there is the onions. All right, this one doesn't have coating.
Because they will turn browner.
Yeah, the onions will, but I'll just turn it over and you won't see that. But see, we love
Rose,
that.
that is so cheating. That is cheating.
The crisper they are, the better we like them. And so I've got one more here in my pan. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my burner off. And I want y'all to look at my little spoon rest.
Move
I
your
love
fingers
it.
a little bit. You
It
covered
says
it up.
fresh eggs. Can you see
Isn't that
it?
nice? Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny, my daughter, gave that to me. So when she gets tired of stuff, she'll buy it and she'll use it for a little while, get tired of it. She'll say, Mom, you want this? I say, well, yeah, I do. I love it, and because I love my fresh eggs now.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I see one with a hole poked in
No,
it.
there's more.
They just fill back
Yeah,
in.
that one is a hole.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in there.
I
Sometimes they just will close back up a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Now this one is wanting to tear apart, but that's okay. I've just handled it more than okay. Now that one doesn't have the coating on it. All right, I'm gonna slide my grease back. Here.
These have that crunchy southern fried fish, the ones with the coating on it, the whiter ones.
Yeah. All right. Now
Wow.
I'm fixing to show y'all.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. Now, this is the way I like mine.
Rose.
Right here.
Rose.
I get me a plate.
You gonna do that right in front of everybody?
Yeah. I need to take a picture, though, before I do that. I need to get them all out and take a picture. And I need to cover up that one that just,
Broke.
yeah, broke a little bit. Okay. All right. But I'm going to eat it. Man, that's good. Hot.
Grandma,
It's hot. Let me tell y'all.
how old do you have to get to stop eating hot food as it comes out of a pan?
But it's so good. When you don't use wheat flour, when you use other things, this is not packy, it's light, it's fluffy, but it's well done in the middle. It binds together really well. It's just delicious. But it's such a different texture than if you use wheat flour. Because wheat flour kind of makes it packy and gummy like in the middle, and I do not like gummy. When I make biscuit, when I used to make biscuit, I make them flat. I do not like thick biscuit that's got all that stuff in the middle. If I go to Cracker Barrel or something, or used to when I ate the biscuit, I would take the top and the bottom off, eat that, and throw the rest of that middle away. Now, some of you love it. I just never have. I'm a texture person. If it doesn't feel right in my mouth, I can't eat it. Like shrimp. Shrimp, I love butterfly shrimp, where they cut them, open them up, butterfly them. And if you don't, when you bite down into it, it's like biting into my finger. Same way a mushroom. If I bite down into a mushroom, it's like biting into my finger. And it's just a texture thing, and I have it, and it's okay. I know it's there. So, honey, if you will cut that off, I'm going to take a picture, and then we'll come back, and I'm going to show them how. Okay.
You wouldn't pull out the sugar-free syrup, would you?
Pure Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the way I like to eat it.
See, it says sugar-free right across the front.
Now, this one got a little brown. It's not burned, but I started eating on it because I didn't want it in my picture. So, it doesn't taste burned at all. It's just, it was the last one in there. And you know how your grease gets hotter and hotter? Y'all. This is so good. Let me tell y'all how I used to eat it. I used to would make homemade biscuit, the flat kind. I would take one, I'd put syrup on the top, I'd cut it open, put syrup on the top and bottom, put one of these in it, put the lid back on it, put them back together, and I'd have a sausage biscuit, a salmon biscuit. So good. You can do this with honey, you can do it with regular syrup, cane syrup, oh my, but they don't make sugar-free cane syrup.
Sugar-free
I
jelly?
don't think. Yeah.
Grandmama makes a lot of sugar-free jellies and jams and sugar-free syrups. And you can see the recipes on some of our other videos if you look through. But she does that so that she can always have sugar-free options as condiments when she wants them.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to feel like she can't have anything sweet like syrup or jelly.
Y'all, Roy, I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to let you taste. These are so good. They are delicious. Now, y'all, it is just about as low carb as you can get. All it has is 1 tablespoon of gluten-free flour.
Divided among all of those, and that's practically no load because
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 patties. 1 tablespoon of gluten-free flour divided among 16 patties. So you can basically say there's no carbs. But anyway, I'm gonna let Roy taste. So it's gluten-free and sugar-free. All right, baby.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait to eat these. I didn't eat breakfast.
This is one of the holy ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, I'm telling you, if you just put you some of that
Wait a
on.
minute. Let me get close. Look at that, y'all. And it doesn't have that tuna, keeps it from having that really, really strong salmon taste. If you like that, that's fine. Don't add the tuna, but I just add the tuna to stretch it and make it go a little farther without having to open another whole can of salmon. Good, ain't it, baby?
My goodness alive. Home on the range.
Okay. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Subscribe, hit that little notification bell.
Woo.
And share this video because there's some out there maybe that want low carb and don't know how to make salmon patties. I'm getting Roy eating low carb.
These are good with black-eyed peas too.
Yes, they are. Well, now the way I make them, they're good with anything. We love them. So anyway, please share the video and remember, food feeds the family. Family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. We'll see y'all next time.